In a global city pulsing with over 5.5 million people, a tiny community of fewer than 3,000 has quietly shaped the nation's destiny in ways most will never see. They are Singapore's Jewish community. And while you won't find their enclaves highlighted on any tourist map, their fingerprints are pressed deep into the clay of the nation's most prestigious boulevards and the very foundations of its oldest quarters. We're about to pull back the curtain on a concealed dimension of Singapore's prosperity. Not just a tale of currency, but of lineage and quiet sway. We're doing it by examining 7 specific locales. What we discovered shattered our assumptions. The very concept of a Jewish area here is entirely unlike any other metropolis on Earth. And frankly, it's far more compelling. Welcome to a Singapore the brochures leave out. When someone mentions Singapore, what flashes through your mind? The soaring architecture of Marina Bay, the otherworldly super trees, a sea of luxury sedans. It's the ultimate symbol of financial might and a sanctuary for the global elite. But beneath that gleaming surface lies a deeper, largely untold chronicle. A narrative of visionaries who transformed a colonial trading post into a planetary economic engine. And a central, though frequently forgotten, thread in that tapestry belongs to this small community. Today, we're mapping the 6 most significant Jewish areas in Singapore. But let's clear up a misconception immediately. This isn't a catalog of ethnic quarters. You won't discover a single district here where Jewish people form the majority. The unique story of Jewish life in Singapore is one of remarkable assimilation, not segregation. Their impact is like an invisible, durable thread woven through the city's most opulent and historically rich zones. So, how did we curate this list? We adopted a different lens. We're following the community's movement across the city, from its original heart to the contemporary hubs of affluence where its members reside today. We'll bridge the gap between 19th-century Sephardic merchants arriving from Baghdad and the jet-setting financial executives of the current era. We'll investigate the heritage of giants like Sir Manasseh Meyer and Jacob Ballas, individuals whose identities are etched into the urban landscape. This isn't merely a property tour. It's a narrative about cultural legacy. We'll examine the original Jewish quarter, the Mahala, and witness how its character endures. We'll tour synagogues that also serve as national monuments, solid evidence of a lengthy history of contribution and coexistence. And we'll venture into ultra-exclusive districts, some of the wealthiest on the planet, revealing their link to a community now largely composed of expatriates from Israel, the United States, Britain, and Australia. This is essentially about redefining the meaning of a rich neighborhood. It's about recognizing that genuine wealth is an amalgam of financial capital, deep-rooted history, and cultural resonance. So, prepare to view Singapore from a fresh vantage. We're going to reveal the lasting influence of a tiny community with an outsized effect. Our starting point isn't some glamorous high-rise, but a place grounded in living memory. Number 6 is the district around Waterloo Street and Rocher Road. To the casual observer, it's simply a vibrant section of central Singapore. But to grasp its place on a list of wealthy areas, you must gauge its worth in legacy and sway. This ground is the cradle of Singapore's Jewish narrative. It's where the entire saga commences. Back in the mid-1800s, this vicinity became the core of the Mahallah, an Arabic term for quarter. Sephardic Jewish traders from Baghdad, many arriving via India, established themselves and built their lives here. They migrated from their initial settlement near Boat Quay to this area, encompassing Middle Road, Prinsep Street, and Selegie Road. Imagine these lanes not crowded with contemporary skyscrapers, but alive with the vigor of an expanding colonial harbor. This is where Jewish merchants opened shops, fueling the commercial spirit that established Singapore as a key trading post. And the cornerstone of it all, the spiritual and historical nucleus, is the Maghain Aboth Synagogue. Its title translates to Shield of Our Fathers. And that's precisely its role. Consecrated in 1878, it stands as the oldest synagogue in all of Southeast Asia. Consider that. Before Singapore's iconic towers were even conceived, this structure was already here. Its construction was spearheaded by Manasseh Meyer, a name that will resurface. In 1998, it was formally designated a Singaporean national monument, solidifying its significance. Strolling down Waterloo Street now, the synagogue presents a modest, refined appearance. It's unpretentious, yet it commands reverence. But the chronicle isn't frozen in the 1800s. Directly adjacent is the Jacob Ballas Center, a contemporary complex opened in 2007. This is where the district's historical wealth connects to the community's dynamic present. The center honors Jacob Ballas, a titan of Singapore's financial sector, a former chairman of the local stock exchange. Today, the Jacob Ballas Center serves as the authentic hub of Jewish life in Singapore. It houses a school, a kosher eatery, a ritual bath, and social gathering spaces. It's where the community's 2,500 members, from heirs of the original settlers to modern expats, assemble, commemorate, and connect. Wealth isn't just what you accumulate, it's the foundation you build for others. So, why does Rocher secure the 6th spot on our list of significant Jewish areas? Because its prosperity is fundamental. It's not quantified in property values, but in priceless historical and cultural significance. This district is the community's living soul, the genesis of a legacy that continues to mold the city today. Progressing to number 5, we aren't venturing far. We're simply expanding our perspective from the spiritual core of the Mahala to its commercial lifelines, Bras Basah and Selagi. This area represents the subsequent phase, where communal spirit transformed into tangible economic and architectural impact. This is where the notion of wealth starts to appear more conventional. The original Jewish quarter comprised a grid of streets where commerce and daily life intertwined. This zone, encompassing parts of Sophia Road, Wilkie Road, and Prinsep Street, was where Jewish families accumulated their fortunes and erected their residences. Their prosperity is literally carved into the city's fabric. The most conspicuous evidence of this is the David Elias Building. Standing at the intersection of Middle Road and Selagi Road, this neoclassical landmark was completed in 1928. Commissioned by a Jewish merchant named David Elias, its most arresting detail rests on the roof, an inscription displaying the building's name, the year, and a 6-pointed Star of David. This wasn't some discreet symbol. It was a bold proclamation of identity and achievement. In 1994, it received conservation status, safeguarding it as an essential piece of Singaporean heritage. The structure itself narrates a tale of success. It wasn't solely an office. It housed shops, eateries, and rental rooms, making it a bustling hub. For a period, it even functioned as a hotel. The David Elias Building exemplifies the community's commercial acumen and their position as major property developers. In reality, a 1931 census indicated that Jewish individuals ranked among the largest property owners in the city. You can perceive their impact throughout the vicinity. Prinsep Street gained recognition as a center for Jewish financiers. Other structures from that era, like the Ellison Building, also display the Star of David on their fronts, illustrating the community's prominence. These edifices were more than mere buildings, they were declarations. They signified the community's evolution from recent immigrants to established, influential players in the city's economy. Nowadays, Bras Basah and Selagi are celebrated as a lively arts and heritage district. They're filled with museums, art institutions, and trendy cafes. Their richness has transformed. The historical wealth generated by individuals like David Elias has metamorphosed into a different kind of value. The conservation designation of these buildings renders them premium real estate. Their central position and artistic vibe command high property prices. It's a flawless illustration of how history directly converts into contemporary economic worth. Traversing this area is akin to walking through time. You're simultaneously in the historic Mahala and one of modern Singapore's most coveted cultural hotspots. Landing at number 4 is a location that embodies an entirely distinct form of power and influence, Oxley Rise. For numerous Singaporeans, this name connotes prestige. It's a tranquil, verdant hill just a brief stroll from the frenzy of Orchard Road, yet it feels like another realm. Its wealth is one of established affluence and an extraordinary legacy of philanthropy. And at its core stands Singapore's second major synagogue, Chesed-El. You can't discuss this place without highlighting one individual, Sir Manasseh Meyer. We encountered him earlier as the force behind the Maghain Aboth Synagogue. By the early 1900s, Meyer ranked among the wealthiest and most influential Jewish personalities in Asia. His fortune, amassed from commerce and real estate, was immense, yet he's chiefly remembered for what he contributed. By 1902, the Jewish community had expanded to roughly 500 people, and some friction arose between the established Sephardic group and newer Ashkenazi arrivals concerning rituals. Meyer, a man of grand vision, devised a bold solution. He would fund and construct a second synagogue entirely on his own, located on the grounds of his vast estate, Bellevue, on Oxley Rise. This wasn't merely charity, it was a statement. Chesed-El, meaning bountiful mercy and goodness of God, opened its doors in 1905. It initially served as Manasseh Meyer's personal synagogue. It's a stunning late Renaissance-style structure, mirroring the tastes of its founder. The location itself holds significance. Oxley Rise was already an upscale address, and Meyer establishing his home and synagogue there cemented its status. It was on this very hill, at his estate, that Meyer hosted one of history's most renowned scientists. In 1922, Albert Einstein visited Singapore specifically to meet Meyer and solicit funding for the Hebrew University in Jerusalem. The encounter proved successful, and Meyer made a substantial donation. Just envision it. Two of the most prominent Jewish figures of the 20th century, a titan of science and a titan of industry, convening on this serene hill in Singapore. During World War II, the synagogue was seized by the Japanese military and used for ammunition storage. Yet after the war, it was restored to the community, a powerful emblem of resilience. Like Maghain Abath, Chesed-El is also a national monument, acknowledged for its historical and architectural importance. Today, Oxley Rise persists as one of Singapore's most exclusive and expensive residential zones. It's renowned for its grand residences and peaceful, tree-shaded avenues. The richness here is stratified. There's the historical wealth of the synagogue and Meyer's legacy. There's the architectural wealth of the exquisite homes. And naturally, there's the immense financial wealth required to reside in such a prime location. Oxley Rise transcends being a mere address. It's a symbol of how colossal personal fortune was channeled into enduring assets for the community and the nation. We've reached the midpoint of our exploration, and the locations are becoming increasingly exclusive. If you're captivated by this concealed history absent from guidebooks, now's an ideal moment to support the channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and activate the notification bell. We produce content that delves beneath the surface each week, revealing the narratives that genuinely mold our world. By subscribing, you won't miss what's upcoming as we count down to the single most significant area on our roster. Trust me, you'll want to witness this. Now back to the countdown. As we enter the top 3, a distinct transition occurs. We're shifting from districts characterized by history to those defined by contemporary lifestyles. At number 3 are the interconnected areas of Holland Village and Tanglin. These neighborhoods showcase the modern visage of Singapore's Jewish community, which is now predominantly composed of high-achieving expatriates. If Rocher and Oxley Rise are about heritage, Holland Village and Tanglin are about lifestyle. The wealth here is measured in the elevated cost of living, the abundance of international schools, and the genuinely global network of professionals. Holland Village, often called Holland V, has consistently drawn expats. It possesses a distinctive bohemian chic atmosphere. The streets overflow with fashionable cafes, international eateries, and lively bars. You're equally likely to overhear Hebrew or French as you are Mandarin. This dynamic, cosmopolitan vibe makes it a natural habitat for professionals and their families relocating to Singapore. Immediately adjacent is the more conventional and established neighborhood of Tanglin. This area is dotted with embassies, upscale boutiques, and some of the city's most coveted residences. It's celebrated for its abundant greenery and luxury condominiums. The Sir Manasseh Meyer International School was once situated here, establishing an inherent link for the community before the school moved to a larger facility. So, why is this area so crucial for the contemporary Jewish community? It boils down to demographics. The current community of 2,500 consists mostly of expats, professionals in finance, technology, and law who came for Singapore's opportunities and quality of life. These families seek a few key elements: excellent international schools, a community of fellow expats, and a safe, family-friendly environment. Holland Village and Tanglin satisfy all these requirements. The Jewish community's presence here isn't signaled by historic structures. You perceive it in the social networks, the conversations at school pickup, and the families congregating at cafes. They aren't dwelling in a Jewish enclave. They're residing in one of Singapore's premier international neighborhoods, alongside individuals from every corner of the globe. True integration is living not in a separate quarter, but in the heart of the world's best addresses. The cost of this lifestyle is considerable. Real estate in Holland Village and Tanglin ranks among the priciest in the city. There's no synagogue or kosher establishment. The association pertains to individual, stratospheric achievement. It represents the ultimate endpoint in the narrative of integration. It demonstrates that the apex of Singaporean society is entirely accessible to members of the Jewish community. The wealth here is almost incomprehensible. A single good-class bungalow can transact for tens, even hundreds of millions of dollars. Nassim Road is number one because it signifies the absolute peak. It's where the historical heritage of Jewish pioneers converges with the contemporary reality of Jewish professionals operating at the summit of their fields. Nassim Road isn't merely the most prominent Jewish-linked address in Singapore. It ranks among the most significant in the entire world. So there you have it. From the historic Mahala on Waterloo Street to Billionaires Row on Nassim Road, what commenced as a catalogue of wealthy districts evolved into something far more profound. It became the 200-year chronicle of a community's evolution within Singapore. Ultimately, the entire concept of a singular rich Jewish neighborhood in Singapore presents a fascinating paradox. The community's greatest asset isn't concentrated in one location. Instead, its richness is manifested through its presence across all of Singapore's most prosperous and desirable districts. It's a wealth of heritage preserved in national monuments like the Mahallah Bath and Chesed-El synagogues. It's a wealth of influence discernible in the names of streets and the legacies of individuals who helped construct the nation. And it's a wealth of talent visible in the professionals who continue to select Singapore as their home. Ultimately, the narrative of these 6 areas is a narrative about Singapore itself. It's a tribute to a society that prioritizes harmony and multiculturalism, providing a space where a small community of 2,500 people can not only survive, but ascend to the very zenith. The authentic treasure isn't a collection of luxury residences. It's the enduring legacy of a community that has become an integral part of a nation's fabric. What did you think of our exploration? Which aspect of this remarkable history surprised you the most? We're eager to hear your perspectives. Share your thoughts and inquiries in the comments section below. And if you believe there are more concealed stories deserving of attention, ensure you're subscribed to Winds of Thought for more fascinating histories that shape our world.